Okay, let's look at page 774. Have your pencil ready. Make sure you're doing this with me. Number 8. 1/5 of the text messages that Natalie sends are to her family. She sends an equal amount of messages to her mom, dad, and sister. That's 3 people. Mom, dad, and sister. What fraction of the text messages she sends go to her sister? So we're starting out with 1/5. 1/5 of the messages go to her family, okay? And we want to know how many go to her sister, what part go to her sister. Well, there are 3 family members, so we're going to divide by 3. So we rewrite this problem as 1/5. We change our division sign to a multiplication sign. That means we have to do the opposite of 3 over 1, and our reciprocal of 3 over 1 would be 1/3. So we can multiply now. 1 times 1 is 1, and 5 times 3 is 15. So 1/15 of her messages go to her sister. Look at number 9. Asher has 1/2 ton of mulch to spread equally in 8 square yards. So he's starting out with 1/2 ton, and he has to spread it in 8 yards. How many tons of mulch will be spread in each square yard? So we are dividing by 8. And we're going to rewrite that as 1/2. We're going to change our division sign to a multiplication sign. That means we have to write the reciprocal of 8, and that's 8 over 1. The reciprocal would be 1/8. So now we can multiply. 1 times 1 is 1, and 2 times 8 is 16. So 1/16 of that ton go in each yard. Han has 1/3 of his science project to complete still. He wants to spend an equal amount of time on his science project on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night. That's 3 nights. What fraction of the science project will he complete each night? So he wants to spend, or he has 1/3 of his project left, and he's going to divide that up into working on it for 3 nights. So we rewrite our problem as 1/3 times, and the reciprocal of 3 over 1 is 1/3, and we can multiply. 1 times 1 is 1, and 3 times 3 is 9. So he's going to spend 1/9 of his science project time on each of 3 nights. All right, let's look at 11. It says write and solve a real-world problem for 1/6 divided by 4. Then explain the meaning of the quotient. Okay, let's solve the problem. 1/6 divided by 4. We're going to change that division sign to a multiplication sign. 4 is 4 over 1. We're going to write the reciprocal of 4 over 1, which is 1/4. So 1 times 1 is 1, and 6 times 4 is 24. Now we still have to write a real-world problem. So let's say Tim had to complete I'm sorry, I got confused here, guys. Let's say Tim had, I'm going to cross this out, 1/6 hour, there's our 1/6, to do 4 tasks. There's our 4. How much time can he spend on each task? So we know he can spend 1/24 of an hour on each task because he only has 1/6 of an hour to do 4 tasks. So our quotient is 1/24. Number 12 says, how can I use bar diagrams to divide unit fractions by whole numbers? Well, you would draw a model to represent the fraction. Then you would divide it into sections. Then you would find the number of equal sections then write as a fraction with 1 as the numerator. Draw a model to represent the fraction, divide it into sections, find the number of equal sections, write as a fraction with 1 as the numerator. Now, if you didn't get this, you can watch the video over and over again and be sure you get it. Okay, let's look at page 775. It says find 1/6 divided by 2, and the model shows 1/6. Well, here's 1/6 right here. And they divided it into 2 parts. So each part would be 1/6. I'm sorry, this is 1/6. Each part would be 1/12. Here's 1/12, and here's 1/12. Okay, so it says write the fraction. 1/12 is a total number of sections. So 1/6 divided by 2 is 1/12. To check it, you would do the opposite. You would start with your quotient, 1/12, multiply it by 2, and your answer should be 1/6, which is what you started with. Okay? So let's look at number 1. 1/2 divided by 3. Here we have 1/2. Let's divide by 3. We know that each one of these is 1/6. So 1/2 divided by 3 is 1/6. Let's work it and see if we're right. We would rewrite this problem as 1/2 times 1/3. 1/3 is the reciprocal of 3 because 3 is 3/1. 1 times 1 is 1, and 2 times 3 is 6, and we have the same answer here. Let's check. We start with the answer to our division problem and multiply it by our factor, we can change that 3 to 3 over 1. Now this is the numerator and this is the denominator, so we can cancel. 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1, and 2 times 1 is 2. And we have exactly what we started with, so we know we're right. Let's look at number 2, 1/4 divided by 5. Here we have 4 sections. Let's divide them into fifths. We draw 4 lines and we end up with 5 sections. Okay, 5, 10, 15, 20. 1/4 divided by 5 should be 20 because we have 10 sections, 20 sections, right? I'm sorry, it should be 1/20th, not 20, 1/20th. All right, let's see if we're right here. 1/4 times, and the reciprocal of 5 would be 1/5, and 1 times 1 is 1, and 4 times 5 is 20. All right, so each one of these is 1/20th. Let's check. We start with our quotient, 1/20th, multiply it by our factor, 5. Let's put that 5 over 1, and we can cancel. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 20 divided by 5 is 4. 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 1 is 4. And we've ended up with what we started with, so we know we are correct. Okay, your homework is to do page 776 and put it in your assessment folder. You're going to start out with there's only 1 granola bar left out of a pan of 10. That means 1/10, doesn't it? If Will and Rachel decide to split the last granola bar, what fraction of the entire pan of granola bars will each friend receive? So that 1 granola bar is 1/10 of the pan. So your problem is 1/10 divided by 2. Okay? Be sure you read and pay attention to exactly what it's asking you. This second one, of course, you start out with a 1/2 pound of raisins and you divide that 1/2 pound into 7 parts. So 1/2 divided by 7. Number 5, write and solve a real world problem for 1/2 divided by 3. So you are going to find the answer to 1/2 divided by 3 and then write a problem with this as the digits in your problem. It says draw a model. You don't have to draw the model. You can if you want to. Okay, number 6. You have a model here. You're going to work the problem and find out what the answer to 1/6 divided by 3 is and color in the bubble of the correct answer. Be sure you do all of this, show your work, and add it to your assessment folder.